we need to talk about the show. I know when we started our journey, when we started our bestie bento breakdown, so excited with the Grimm Variations being our very first show. How will this Japanese created show tell the tale of German's folklore stories?
Yeah.
And like, will there be Japanese elements into the story? Even Netflix in the description, it was supposed to dive deep into human emotions, like the darker side of human emotions. And I don't know if it was a cultural aspect to it of like us being US people watching a show created by Japanese who was translating a whole human experience. Like there was a disconnect. I feel like the darker human sides, they weren't quite understood in every episode. I'm Dr. Key. Welcome to my YouTube page.
Hi, I'm Allie. Nice to meet you.
We have some feelings about this show, and we're going to share. We're going to tell you how we feel, what are our standout moments, and at the end, we are going to be ranking of our visual, story, character development, and our overall thoughts of the show. So you can decide if this is for you.
I will say the expectation with all the different directors that were involved and also the studio clamp situation. I think our expectations were a little high.
Each of the people who directed the episodes, like they are famous in their own right. Like they know how to tell a story. I don't know if it's because they just had this one shot and just all of the directors couldn't come up with a cohesive story. I don't know what it was.
Let's start with like a positive. Let's start with something that stands out.
Yeah.
And that way we can like at least focus on that for a minute. Because I think there were points that were a standout. So I'll start, visuals, spot on, excellent.
Beautiful.
I had a great time seeing the visuals and kind of getting a little bit of nostalgia there.
On a scale to 1 to 5, what would you rank your visuals? And we're gonna be cute about it. We got like our little paper. We have paper, pen. So we're gonna like write our answer. Crayon for me, no pen. But what is your ranking for visuals? Our ranking is the power of best friends. 4. Yes, we are in agreement. Visuals. All right.
And I would say, like, of course, there were spotty points. That's why you can't give it even, like, I don't think it's justified to give it more than a 4, because there were points where I was like, what's wrong with that girl's eyes? And the what was that?
Plus, there was some lazy art. Like, I wouldn't say lazy art. Okay, no shade to Clamp, because Clamp's incredible. But you totally took one character from one of your other shows and just plopped them into this one. Like, I'm going to need some new character design, please. Okay.
Yes. For me, that was like a standout point was the artistic stylings of things. And when I say artistic stylings, I don't mean storytelling, artistic stylings. I'm meaning visuals. The visuals were beautiful and spot on.
I really wish we had the chance to see a lot of the stories from the art style in the very beginning. Whenever we were introduced to the Grimm brothers and the sister, it was very storybook, hand-drawn, and that was just, it would have been really fun to experience a show fully like that. So it was like such a treat to have that in the beginning and sometimes at the end, because it was such a drastic difference from whatever the art style was of that particular episode. So that was really fun. So let's go into story. So ranking 1 through 5, what would you rank the overall story of the anime? All 6 episodes.
Okay. We're basically almost on the same page. There were points in the series where I was like, okay, like I enjoyed the fact it was like a Western.
Yeah, cute.
I was kind of okay with just the storytelling was the problem. So I can't go higher than this. Like, because if I were to only focus on the good episodes, then this would be a 2.
That's episode 1, episode 2.
Hence there's a 2. Like, what would be for you? Like, if you had to pick a favorite episode or episodes with an S, what would you choose in this?
My favorite episode was probably episode 2, Little Red Riding Hood. And I loved it for the very fact that I was a big fan of the movie Hard Candy. And so once I realized there was a lot of similarities between the two, plus I love psychological thrillers. So like American Psycho, The Purge, there's a lot of things. Watch my other videos, I did a lot of comparisons. I loved it. I also really enjoyed the Cinderella story as well. Such a twist. Really dive again into the psychological. I just thought that was just a fun introduction to the show. But having those 2 episodes, 1 and 2, set the bar, like you said, too high. But what about you? What were your favorite 2 episodes?
Yeah, I think for me it's hard to pick 2, but I would definitely say Little Red Riding Hood is my top. And I think it was just for the mere fact that it was a little bit more intense and I felt more scared. Scared is the right word. I was just nervous. There's a lot more worry involved. And there was a lot of parts I was grossed out by. So it made me sweat and feel like, oh, now watching something that is peculiar, that isn't the norm. They took it differently. Cool. There was, of course, there's always like a slow point here and there in that episode, but for the most part, I think that one stood out.
What was a disappointment for you in terms of this show as a whole?
Yeah, no, I would say, listen, there was so much potential. I feel like each episode, I was like, okay, they're gonna go in this route. For example, Elves in the Shoemaker one. It's like this could have gone. What is that movie with Johnny Depp? Could have gone in that
Secret
direction.
Window.
Thank you.
Him as a writer, right?
The only thing that matters is the ending. It's the most important part of the story.
The direction I was expecting it to go, just based off the first few seconds of that episode, and then it just snore fest. I'm sorry. Like, if you like that episode, guys, I don't understand how, because I was just bored out of my mind. And then Hansel and Gretel, I mean, it was intriguing at first.
I appreciate it on the second watch.
Yeah, like it's one of those like, okay, I get it, but I I feel like they could have totally taken that that ending point where, oh, suddenly Gretel is not real. Like, if they would have focused on that point,
right?
Excellent. Like, it would have been much more intriguing than having we're in space and actually this is like a whole repopulation effort or whatever the hell it was about.
Just like, okay.
What just I don't know. So I'll put it this way. My appointment fell on all of the storytelling. The storytelling did not deliver. I felt like we had potential. Every episode were set up for a really interesting story. It's like the twist didn't twist, my friend. That was
twist
not the
didn't
twist.
Twist. The turns didn't turn.
Ever. Wait, I got to put this point out here because it was probably the best scene ever. And it was in the last episode when Homegirl went psycho at the very end. Yeah. Straight up gadushed. Listen, that scene got me together that we had to rewind just to make sure I saw everything properly in its full glory.
Character development. Same business, 1 through 5. So here we go. Again, the characters. What are your motivations? Why? It just was not clicking for me.
Yeah, for me going a 0.5. Again, I'm thinking of all the episodes. There are characters that did develop in a way that made sense. For example, the elf or whatever her character is, she basically kept on cue. And I liked that point that she was like, you did me dirty. I ain't going to help anymore. I liked how there was that development. You understood that she was the icing. She was pulling the strings and taking care of everything. Cat, dog, and whatever. I enjoyed seeing that they grew up and decided to be live their rest of their lives as that saloon patrons or whatever. Yeah. Great. Sure. I thought those were good points. So there was that development and growth.
So just taking all of our scores together, math, let's round it up. So overall, we are giving this entire show a score of 3. That is right. We're giving it a 3. So what is that? A solid B? If we were going to give it like an ABC type of situation.
And I would say it's that visuals that pull you in.
Curiosity. I was so curious. I just quickly Googled the Grimm Variations to see what the ratings were online. IMDb gave it a 6.3 out of 10. So are we on the same? Okay.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty good. Yeah. We're on the same page.
Right? And the main list gave it a 6.8 out of 10. So listen, you girls are out here ranking things correctly. What
this means is that the watchability of the show is at out of 3. So
Mhm.
I would say that gives you a good idea of whether or not you should invest your time into it or not.
Mhm.
If it was like a 1 in watchability rank, that probably means this is absolute dog trash. So we clearly don't say that. We're
Right.
saying that there are things that are totally worth watching, or at
Exactly.
least seeing. So take it
Exactly.
as you will.
Take it as you will. Let us know what you think in the comments. It's okay to disagree with us. We're human. So let us know. And if there's another video or anime that you would like us to bestie break down, let us know in the comments. Because listen, we watch anime all day, every day. So we are ready. So thanks for watching.